I wanted to spend a couple of minutes with you and thank you for watching the presentation. Maybe you saw something like this from a family or friend in a video, or maybe you went to a live presentation. In either case, it doesn't matter because one of the questions that we ask you is whether or not you think that if you went online to do some research about Ambit Energy, and we encourage you to do this, whether or not you'd find good or bad about anything online. And most people would agree that that is true. So most people end up going to Google and they'll do a Google search and they'll type in Ambit Energy reviews, and we're going to help you through this because the question becomes whether or not, how do we know what's good and what's bad online? And we asked you, if you're going to go look at the bad, you spend 10 minutes looking at the bad, could you please spend 10 minutes looking at the good? So I'm going to help you try to understand the difference between verified and unverified versus reputable and not reputable websites that you can look at to really make your decision, because it's a maze online right now as far as what's true, what isn't true, and it's more or less like walking into a public bathroom stall and you see all kinds of writings and scribbles on the wall, and there may be all kinds of accusations and different things on there, but are they true? Of course. I mean, most of those things you aren't going to believe. In the same way, we should really take what we read on the internet with a grain of salt, and this has been a big problem, and it's becoming a bigger problem now, even with large companies like Amazon with fake reviews, and they're taking down reviews and different things. So let's actually dig into this a little bit so we can understand. So the first thing I want you to kind of put in context here is that Ambit Energy has over 1 million customers, and that happened in 2012. So if you go online, I haven't actually counted every single one, but let's say there's a couple of hundred bad reviews online. So if we take the couple of hundred bad reviews and you compare it to the over 1 million customers we have, this works out to less than 0.01% of the total customers versus complaints. Now, to put that into context, that is 1/100th of a percent. We're not even talking, we're talking 1/100ths of a percent. So this is infinitesimally small compared to the number of customers we have. And we have multitudes of high reviews and awards and different things. But like I said, let's concentrate on some bad. So let's go to the Google website. And of course, Google, we're going to type in Ambit Energy or Ambit Energy reviews. And I tell you to go to Google, but I have never seen a check from Google. I've seen a lot of checks from Ambit Energy for referring customers to them for free electricity. I get free electricity, but I've never seen a check from Google. Google has never sent me a check, and they'll never send you a check either. So anyway, we're going to do it anyway, as much as I hate to do that and pay them for something. But if we go down through here and we start looking at some of the returns that we get from Google search, we'll see that one of the things that comes up is Ambit Energy Wikipedia. Now, some people like Wikipedia. Wikipedia happens to be a compilation of the community out there that places things online. You can edit things, you can add things. So the question is it credible and reliable? A lot of times it's linked to other sources on the internet, but we have to take everything and balance it and to see who's reporting it and whether or not they have credibility to do so. So most people are going to go and search for the bad stuff. So let's go do that. So down here we have criticism from consumer advocates. What's the first thing we see here? And read, it says Ambit Energy has come under scrutiny from regulators and consumer advocates. Okay, so they're talking about consumer advocates, but they don't really say who here. But then in the next sentence, they say a story by Consumer Affairs in 2014. And if you click on that, you see that Consumer Affairs, it says, is a .com company, and that they were founded, and they explain a whole bunch of places where they're located. But it says it's not a government organization, and it's not a nonprofit. So it's not a government organization. That means it's not an advocacy group, and neither is it a nonprofit. So it's not doing this for the good of the community and the people. It's doing it for their own pocketbook, meaning they're a for-profit company online. So let's take a look at this thing, and we're going to remember Consumer Affairs. And there's some other things down here about lawsuits and stuff which have been dismissed, and there's some other links to things here which actually Ambit's not even mentioned. It maybe one word in the article, because it actually has to do with some other energy company. So let's go back, and we're going to go back to that Google search again, and let's look to see. So we have Ambit Energy reviews. Let's type that in, see what comes up. Some of the first things that come, the first thing that comes up actually on my website is consumer affairs. So that sounds familiar, doesn't it? And sounds pretty official. And there's 2 stars here. So I'm not getting a good feeling. I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies about what my friend or family member showed me so far. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing, but I'm going to click on it anyway. And I'm going to take a look. And I get over here and I see Ambit Energy is a consumer affairs unaccredited brand, and you start to scratch your head and you start to say, well, there's something bad here. There's something not going on very good. And you come over, you see 2 stars, and then you scroll down and you see 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, and you say, I want nothing to do with Ambit Energy. I want nothing to do with the business opportunity, and I want nothing to do with being a customer. You close your laptop up and you tell your family or friend, no way, because I found all this bad stuff online. Well, the reality is that you could potentially be missing out on the most lucrative part-time business venture. And I say that, with caution, and I say that with work. I'm not saying that you're going to be able to do this overnight, but potentially you could start your business off making a little extra money, and with work you can build it to a point, over 3 to 5 years where you can replace your income from your job. But that's not part of this conversation, and it's not part of this video today. What we're trying to get into is for you to research to determine if you can even get there and actually join us in this incredible opportunity that's changed our lives. So let's take a look at this website a little bit better. I mean, they're unaccredited brand. We don't know what that means. If you go up here, Ambit Energy does not participate in the Consumer Affairs Accreditation Program. Now, this is so small up here in the top that if I was on a cell phone, I wouldn't even be able to read that, I don't think. In fact, I looked at it on my cell phone and I couldn't even read it at the very top of the web page on my cell phone. So they've got this other pop-up box here, and it's if you click on the shield, or just mouse over the shield, and it says that they're an unaccredited brand, but then it also says Ambit Energy does not participate in the Consumer Affairs Accreditation Program. So we're still a little confused about that. If you were to click here up to learn more, you'd find out that you actually have to pay. And now here they're trying to get us to sign up for their email list. So this thing really throws me. You have 36 ratings here. That's the overall satisfaction rating. You have 495 down here. I see this ad down here. It even says ad, consumer recommended Spark Energy. And I'm starting to question, what the heck am I looking at? Here's another ad here for a woman's polyester tennis high waist, I guess, skirt. I guess that's part of, it has something to do with energy. So, this is not looking... It's looking strange. The whole thing's looking strange. But, we want to dig into this. We want you to understand what you're looking at. Now, consumer affairs, first of all, is not consumer reports. People get this consumer affairs confused with consumer reports. Consumer reports is actually, if you look here, that's their website, consumerreports.org. They are an organization that's been around for many, many years, and they have over 6 million members. They do a lot of reviews for cars and products and different things. And it's based on their membership donations. It's got nothing to do with advertisement. They don't even have any advertisement on their website. If you look on their website, there's no advertisement. In fact, there's a donation button and you can become a member. And I used to get their magazines, or my parents did. I used to look at them in the little books, and I used to look for the cars and things. Now everything's online, obviously. So don't confuse consumer reports with the Consumer Affairs for Profit website. So let's dig a little deeper here. I look at these 36 ratings for Ambit Energy, and I click down here and I see that there's 27 1-star, 6 5-star, 2 4-star, and then there's really nothing for 3 and 2 stars. And then I ask myself, well, why is there 36 here and 495 energy consumer reviews and complaints here? So I've decided to dig a little deeper, and I click on the 5-star reviews here, and what do I see? I start scrolling down, I see all of these 5-star reviews, but under the overall customer satisfaction up here, I only saw 6 of them. There was definitely more than 6. Well, maybe there's something to do with a 4-star. Let's check that out. Let's dig a little deeper. 4-star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I've looked at 8 already and I haven't even scrolled down to the bottom. Well, they're only saying 2 here. So how is it possible that this rating here only has 2 stars, and then you come over and there's 495 complaints and reviews over here, which obviously there's good and bad because we just saw a whole bunch of good. So how can we take this website? So if you're still not convinced about what's going on here, what I want to tell you is that Consumer Affairs Accreditation actually means Consumer Affairs Extortion. And I'd like to rename that because I think that what's going on here is that they're forcing these bad ratings to get companies to pay them to put good ratings up. And they're trying to build their business model on this extortion. This is an extortion business model. So you don't believe me? Let's take this a step further. I guarantee that you're using a product or a service right now that you will never give up, and Consumer Affairs is actually giving them a bad rating, an overall satisfaction rating that's 2 stars or less. So and I ask them, like, what cell phone service do you use? And they say Verizon Wireless, Sprint. And I said, well, let's try Verizon Wireless. Since I use Verizon, let's give it a go and see what happens. So we type in Verizon Wireless, and voila, there we go. Right? It looks like another unaccredited brand. You mouse over here, it tells them they don't participate. The Verizon doesn't participate. Up here, same thing. You can't read it on a cell phone. It says they don't participate in the Consumer Affairs Accreditation Extortion Program. There's 1.5 stars. So I guess we're a lot better than Verizon since we have 2. And down here comes a little ad about Pure Talk USA, which apparently is another wireless provider. But the thing that really throws me is there's 5,800 plus Verizon Wireless consumer reviews here, but there's only 701 here. So look, this is being skewed. I mean, if you can't see that, and now that you've dug into it, you can understand that this website's for profit. All they care about is for you to pay to get these overall satisfaction ratings up. Well, let's take a look. I mean, who's Pure Talk USA? Let's give them a shot. I don't know who Pure Talk is. Nobody's ever recommended to me Pure Talk. Well, here they do. They come right up on the website, Consumer Affairs. There's Pure Talk. Well, now all of a sudden everything changed. They have a little star there, and if you mouse over the star, it says Pure Talk USA is an accredited member of Consumer Affairs and pays a monthly fee to participate in our accreditation extortion program. That's in my words, extortion part. And we may receive compensation for any referrals. What more do you need to know? And in fact, it's up here also. It says the same thing. I'm not going to reread it again as part of their accreditation program that they refer to as this accreditation program that's actually extortion. So Pure Talk USA is paying these guys to put the good ratings up. And if you take a look at it, they have 325 ratings on their overall satisfaction rating, 4 stars, looks pretty good. 357 Pure Talk USA reviews and complaints. 357, 325, it's pretty close this time, as opposed to Verizon and Ambit Energy, which are terribly skewed. So let's go back. We'll take a look at this again. So Ambit Energy, it's obvious now that this is really an unverified, and it's not a reputable website. It's not a consumer advocacy website. It's not a government website. It's a for-profit website. So let's dig a little bit deeper here. Now, what would be a verified site that we could go to? Well, I mean, we could go to the Better Business Bureau, and we could take a look at that. The Better Business Bureau says we have an A+ rating, and they have a way for customers to put reviews in and for complaints also. But before we get into this, what I want to show you is the problem with these online reviews. And I'm just going to use an example here is with Amazon. Now, I was looking for an external drive the other day, and I happened to pull this particular model up, and it's an 8 terabyte external drive on Amazon. A lot of us shop on Amazon, and I see it has 793 customer reviews. Looks pretty good. There's 4.5 stars, and all this looks good. But see, what's happening today is that things online are getting so skewed. We have companies that are going in and they're putting up reviews. We have companies taking down reviews. And the question is are these reviews real? Are they fake? And now what's happening is we're even having websites now, like a website, it's called Fake Spot. I don't know how good this website is. I've just discovered it the other day, but apparently what they do is they go online and you can actually put reviews in. So I took this particular URL from the 8 terabyte drive, I placed it in here, and I put analyze reviews. So when you get on here, what happens is you see FakeSpot gives it a FakeSpot review grade of D. And they're saying that potentially that Amazon has altered or removed reviews from the listing, and we approximate total reviews removed to be 1,329. Our engine has profiled that there's deception involved. So, like I said, I don't know whether FakeSpot is good or they're bad. I'm just saying that this particular problem online is gotten so bad with reviews that it's almost impossible to find verified reviews and reputable reviews about a particular product. And I've seen many products that have come out that are really good online, and you get them and they're just plain garbage. So, this is why we're getting websites like this FakeSpot. And like I said, I don't recommend FakeSpot. I don't not recommend them. I just don't know enough about them at this point to really make a determination whether or not this is good. But this just to show you the problem. So let's get back to our reviews here about Ambit Energy. So obviously, Ambit Energy has this issue with the consumer affairs. They're not paying them. Other reputable companies are not paying for them. And what it comes down to here, folks, is to look at the verified good versus the verified bad. So, like I said, we'll go back to the Better Business Bureau here. The Better Business Bureau gives Ambit an A+ rating, the highest rating that they can get. Now, what would be a reputable website for reviews? Obviously, the Better Business Bureau I would put at the top of the list. And the reason I do that is because they create a dialogue between the customer and the complainant. I mean, if there's a problem and the consumer has a problem, he can file a report here online with the Better Business Bureau, and the Better Business Bureau acts as a liaison to help the customer and the company resolve the issue. Now, there's a whole lot of good reviews on here, as you can see. Let's go find some bad ones. Okay, here's a bad one. Somebody's upset. This guy, Sam D., says his electricity was disconnected. Now, the reality is we can't disconnect electricity in the states that we're in. And down in Texas, they have a different model down there, and I'm not familiar 100% with whether or not Ambit can actually disconnect, but the incumbent provider is actually the one that disconnects. It's not Ambit. Ambit doesn't have that power to do that. So besides that, there seems to be a response from the company, and they're trying to work this out. Here's somebody else has an issue, something about gas costs, and the company is responding and says, please get back to us. We want to talk to you about this and we're going to try to resolve it. Now, this is reputable. It's verified. And what they're doing is you've got a two-way communication going, not like Yelp and not like Google reviews where you go on there and it's a one-sided thing. The person goes on and complains and that's it. Nobody's going to get back to them. No one's going to respond because there's no ability to do that. It's a one-way thing. It's like scribbling something on the bathroom wall inside the public bathroom. And if you get down through the Better Business Bureau here, you see there's lots of good reviews here. And there's a few that they're trying to work out. But they're working it out, and that's the reason why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. I would consider the Better Business Bureau, and most people would consider them to be a verified, reputable source of information. We just ask, please go online, look at our J.D. Power and Associate Awards, look at the A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, look at the verified good, and balance it against the few infinitesimally small, less than 0.01% of bad that you read online. Anyway, I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, please get back to the person that brought you to the video or brought you to the live presentation, that may have showed you the video, and ask them to get a hold of me, or you can actually contact me directly, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions in regard to how to determine and research verified and reputable online reviews. Thank you for spending the time with us. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you soon.